You walk to someone, you feel like you're more aware, you have more awareness, you're more intelligent, you engage in better conversation. Like you sometimes wonder.
Why do you feel that way?
Well, right, but sometimes you look at people and you wonder, you're like you can't be serious. Or you see something on TV, like maybe it's like some infomercial about like make millions of dollars by getting
like,
the CD.
This is such bullshit.
I mean, you just look at it for a second and you're like, yeah, I mean, I get the marketing play, I get what they're doing. This just obviously isn't the smartest thing, but you see who it's targeting and you go, oh my God, I wonder which idiot would fall for that. And then your cousin comes in the room and he goes, oh yeah, I did that. It was horrible. And you're like, well, like, are you serious? Like, you actually fell for that, you know? I've always said there's a level of evolution from awareness to self-awareness to consciousness. And I think most of the world we live in an information stage, like I've talked about this before, where there's a lot of information in the world. Therefore, it elevates what we consider awareness in the world. Meaning there's more people who have the capacity for being aware because there's information to be aware. You know, like you now have TV, like you have phones, you know, which basically act as TVs for everybody, so you can view everything everywhere. Yeah. So there's a heightened level of awareness in the world. Now, because of a heightened level of awareness, it's also easier to get lost in this information. So there is a higher level of lack of self-awareness. There are, however, individuals who are very self-aware, who are, you know, like working on their trade, doing their things, and living a life of progression and evolution in their own cycle. We're not talking about spiritual evolution. We're talking about evolving in society, through life. And you also have a hint of spirituality. People do not all have that. You know, some people have it, some people do not, some people gain it later at various stages. But when you're going through that evolutionary journey, you start feeling more and more alone. You start realizing that there's less and less people like you, right? Yeah. So this is what I call the road to the higher man, the road to getting to a stage, right? Where you start kind of feeling a lot of blurred lines between self-awareness, consciousness, awareness, and basically starting to no longer look for a personal mission, destination, or purpose. Not saying like, I'm a talented photographer, I'm going to change the world of photography, but rather start questioning things, right? Because you've gained a certain level of self-awareness, you've seen the information presented and everything else, you start questioning like, what is my role here as a human? Like no longer asking like, what is my role in this world? What am I meant to do? I'm meant to be a painter, I'm meant to be a chef. Instead, you start asking more cosmic-driven questions, right? Like, is destiny real? Like, these are basically the traits of a higher human. Someone who starts to question his very own existence to enable itself to give itself meaning. You know, meaning like, I'm going to ask questions in order to hopefully discover answers that will enable me to take some kind of directional path as to what I am here to do.
So do you think that if someone's watching this and they heard what you just said and they associate themselves with everything you said, they're like, oh, I must be a higher human because I do all the things that he just talked about. How do they know that they're not just like associating themselves with that because it sounds cool, or
I think
they want to be that?
Well, because I think being a higher human is a self-identifying factor. Right. And I think this is the key to this, because it is evolution. It's not based on everybody's evolution around you, but your own. You know, it is an internal process. So you have self-honesty is a big piece of self-awareness, you know? And I think that one of the keys to evolution is to know where you stand. If you think you're very strong, you're not going to go to the gym and get stronger.
Well, what if you do have the self-awareness, but you don't have the drive to actually...
Well, no, but listen, no, you can't. So, and I'll explain that. So if you think about like people with money is an easier distinction than like your body. Money is a black and white factor. Right. You know, money, like your body is subjective to who's watching you. Like a bodybuilder may say you're fat. You know, a normal person may say, hey, you're not that fat. Right. But money is black and white. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you either have some or you don't have some. There's nothing in between, you know? And so with money, you'll see a lot of times people defend their positions. I'm a distinguished six-figure earner here in my company, you know, like, and they're justifying what they can't get to through what they have, right? So it's this disease called being content with what you have, so you don't seek improvement.
How can you ever truly become a higher man if you have a level of structure that you can't break?
Well, you can't. Because
as far as like
you cannot, because a higher man,
but spirituality doesn't have structure.
No, you're wrong. Spirituality needs structure because in itself it is a phased process.